Okay, salvete. So we're picking up in the second section of chapter 3, Capitulum Tertium, Scaena Secunda. So we remember Aemilia was about to show up on the scene after Marcus kept beating up his brother and sister. Personae, characters, Aemilia, Julia, Marcus, Quintus, Marcus and Quintus. Aemilia interrogat. Now, interrogat is where we get interrogative from, or interrogate. Aemilia asks. This is just asks in the sense of asks a question. Quis me vocat? Who is calling me? Now, notice the word order. The vocat, the verb that means calls, is at the end. That's the normal place for a Latin verb. And like all these verbs, you might have noticed that they're all ending with a T ending. Est, vocat, videt, so on. They're all ending with a T. That's a he-she-it form of a verb. It always ends with a T in Latin. So who is calling me? Quintus respondet. Quintus answers. Julia te vocat. Julia is calling you. Okay, so me was me, and te now is you. These are both direct object forms too. We'll learn more about that later. Aemilia quintum interrogat. Aemilia asks Quintus. And notice Quintus is quintum here, direct object, with the M at the end. Cur Julia plorat. Why is Julia crying? So cur, question word meaning why, for what reason. Quintus respondet. Quintus answers. Julia plorat. Julia cries. Quia Marcus eam pulsat, because Marcus is beating her or hitting her. Another point, you might think to yourself, what is an English derivative of respondet? An English word that comes from that? Hopefully you think of respond or response, responsive, responsible, any of those. Okay, so if you get a cur question in Latin, why? Then you can expect a quia to answer that. Quia means because. Why is she crying? Because Marcus is hitting her. And then Aemilia says, Quid? What? Puer parvam puellam pulsat? Phew! A boy is beating up a little girl. Phew! Now, phew as interjection is like, oh my gosh. Can't believe it. It's awful. Alright, so, however you want to translate that, because we don't say foo usually in English, unless you want to make it a new English interjection. But basically, she's just exasperated. She's upset. Cur Marcus Juliam pulsat. Why is Marcus beating up a girl? Quintus says, Quia Julia cantat, because Julia's singing. Aemilia says, Oh, Julia, mea parva filia. Oh, Julia, my little daughter. Marcus puer probus non est. Marcus est puer improbus. So here's our chapter title. Marcus is not a puer probus. It is not a good, a decent, a fine, upstanding boy, right? Probus indicates good character. Marcus est puer improbus. He is a bad, wicked, improper, indecent boy. Okay, and Quintus says, Julia puella proba est. Julia is a good girl. She is a decent girl. Aemilia quintum interrogat. Aemilia asks Quintus. Now notice quintum has the M again because he's the direct object. That's again called the accusative case. Singular direct object, singular accusative words in Latin almost always have that M at the end. Ubi est Julius? Where is Julius? Cur non venit? Why isn't he coming? Aemilia Julium non videt. Aemilia does not see Julius. Now notice Julium ends with an M here. Again, accusative singular. Again, it's the direct object of the verb. Doesn't see. Doesn't see what? Doesn't see whom? Doesn't see Julius. And by the way, when we say whom do you see? Sometimes people confuse who and whom. If you ever hear whom, a lot of times people don't use whom anymore. They just use who all the time. But whom should properly be used only for an object, right? So whom do you see? I see Julius. Okay, going on. Respondet Marcus. Marcus answers. He replies, Pater dormit. Father is, and then you can see in the picture, sleeping. So you might think of some derivatives for that. Dormant, dormitory, or just dorm, which is a shortened version of that, place you go to sleep. Dormez-vous in French. So various things there. Okay, Quintus says, Mater non te, sed me interrogat. Mother is not asking you, non te, but she's asking me, sed me. St pueri, says Amelia. Remember, st is like shh. So he's telling the boys, shh, boys. Ubi est pater? Where is your father? Quintus replies, Pater non hic est. Father is not here. Okay, hic is here. Said Marcus hic est, but Marcus is here. Quintus Iulium mocat. Quintus calls Julius. And notice Iulium has the direct object ending again because he's the one being called. Quintus calls whom? He calls Julius. Pater, pater. Okay, so he's saying father, father. I will note, I just said the whom word in English expects an object answer. Him and them are other examples of that. So the pronouns whom and him and them are all object forms, and that's why they end with that m. English used to have cases like Latin. That is, we used to change the spelling of all of our nouns, right, and all of our pronouns. These days we don't do it very much anymore. They're just a couple places. But him and them and whom are all examples of that old object form in English. All right, so Julius is sleeping. Julius dormit, we see in the picture. Julius quintum non audit, neque venit. Julius does not hear Quintus. Okay, so another new verb, audit. You could probably think of some derivatives for that, like audio, auditory, auditorium, so on. Julius doesn't hear Quintus, neque venit, nor does he come. They show you in the margin, neque is the same as et non. The que is the part that means and the ne prefix is making it negative, so and not. Another way you could translate it is nor, so nor does he come. Cur Julius quintum non audit? Why does Julius not hear Quintus? Julius eum non audit? Julius does not hear him, so eum is a pronoun meaning him. Notice in the margin it's got the little dot dot, the colon symbol, eum dot dot, and then quintum. That's telling you eum is referring to the same thing as quintum. In other words, it's standing in for quintum. And that's what pronouns do. They are pro-noun, in place of a noun, okay? Pro in Latin actually means in place of quite often. So, eum stands in place of quintum, him meaning Quintus. All right, Julius doesn't hear him because he is sleeping. So there's that quia word again, the word because. That's going to answer the cur question. Marcus says, ha-hi! Ho-ho-ho! Right, that's just the laughing sound. Pater dormit. Father is sleeping. Neque te audit. And he doesn't hear you. So there's the kind of sadistic Marcus again. And then Amelia says, Fu puer. Ah, boy, right? That's the exasperated interjection. Amelia irata est. Amelia is angry. She is irate. Mater filium verberat. The mother beats or whips the boy. Now, the difference between pulsat, which is more like hits or pummels, and verberat, which is more like whips or spanks, is kind of the nature of this situation. Verberat is used for punishment situations, so whipping children in the ancient world where we have the evils of slavery here, whipping slaves. So verberat is for whips or spanks, right? And here's the sound effect word, right? The onomatopoetic word. Tux-tox, tux-tox. And that's the sound of her whipping him, right? Marcus pleurat. Marcus cries, "Ooh, Julius eum audit." So Julius didn't hear anything else, but now Julius hears him, hears Marcus. Apparently Marcus is crying up a storm. So he was all tough when he was beating up the little kids. When his mom starts spanking him, he makes a lot of noise. Jam non dormit pater. Now the father is not sleeping. So jam meaning now. Another word we'll learn for now later is nunc. Jam can mean now or already. Alright, so he hears. He's going to get up. Alright, so that's the end of that scene. We'll pick up on Skyna Tertia, the third scene, next time. Hope you learned a few things in this lesson. And best of luck till next time.